you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Down with OTC. Down with OTC.
Exactly. Are you down with OTC? Check that out. Look at that. All right. Yes, I'm like glowing in red. It's just like I didn't think it was gonna be it was gonna glow so much. Anyhow, welcome to On the Chain. You're here on the HODL Review, Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we are going to be talking a little bit. Look at that, I look gray too. Really weird lighting today. Today we're going to be talking about Ripple XRP, the U.S. Treasury Secretary getting bullish on the digital asset. So that's going to be really great to dig into, to look at. We're going to look at the central banks of all central banks getting into and tasked with building a CBDC settlement platform. I want to look at this op-ed that came out also this past week talking about a global arms race, but in digital finance. Who's going to get to the spot the fastest? And then we're going to have to check that out. So what does that mean? Get to the spot the fastest? Who is going to roll out and control the digital asset space? Who's going to have the #1 CBDC in this space? And that's what we want to try to identify. Is it going to be built on the XRP ledger? Is XRP, Ripple, RippleNet, and the ODL going to have any kind of an impact in this space? Those are all the things that we want to talk about this morning. So anyhow, let's dig into it. This is where I'd roll the intro, but you guys just sat through 3 minutes of timer. So let's see. Let me take a look at the comments over here. Who was first in? It looks like we have Stiggy was #1 in that. No, look at that. It looks like Chip co-host of On the Chain, was the very first that bounced in to the chat this morning. Wanted to just make sure you guys got your coffee, because this morning is all about the death wish. So if you get your death wish espresso, it's going to get you through this stream. I always bring up the espresso because when we start this, we're going to dig into some in-depth topics, and you're going to definitely want a little bit of espresso to make sure we're wide awake for it. If you guys haven't done yet, go check out our other channel. On the other channel, you will find short form videos. I posted a video, I think it went up yesterday, talking a little bit about Ripple, XRP, the SEC, and the possibility. A question was raised on our live stream on Thursday that, said there's a lot of concern due to the SEC case against Ripple that there might be a possibility, at least this is the concerns being voiced on Twitter, that XRP could go to zero. So check that one out, because we got a lot of hate when I posted the thumbnail that said XRP to zero question mark. But anyhow, it's really, really good stuff. So go check that one out. That was a short video. 2 questions were posed from the live stream that I reviewed on that video that I thought were really important. We didn't get to the live stream on Thursday. Let's see here. We got someone pooed in their cereal over here, just sat down with his coffee and saw it going live and dumped the coffee because he didn't need it anymore. Man, you got to grab that espresso. So let's see what else is going on here. What is good? Hey, give a shout out to where you guys are tuning in from. I know it's early. We've got 120 in the stream right now. Want to see where it is, because we got people here from the East Coast tuning in at 5 a.m. That's going to be awesome. Let's see who we got. I thought I saw someone from Lithuania, villainous Lithuania, XRP to the moon. Nice. So where are you there? There you are, right here. Hey, we have one of our subscribers is from Istanbul, and he was wondering if there's a way to get subtitles on the videos. And every time we set the videos up, there actually should be a way to get subtitles, because I normally will set it up so that there are subtitles. So I don't know if any of you guys are watching outside of the US, and you are actually looking at it from that perspective, and you're looking at or you're reading subtitles. It would be great if you guys can throw something in, and we'll figure it out. But let's see. So we've got Utica, New York, not far from Syracuse, and a short 3-hour drive from Buffalo. Got Poland, Stan from Poland, Canada, Adam coming in from Dublin, an amazing place. If you guys have never been to Dublin, I highly recommend that you go to Dublin, because they've got the best Guinness over there. We've got Ninja from Croatia. We've got Scotland in the house over here. Another great place. If you guys haven't been to Scotland, Long Island, got London, England. Awesome. So we got people coming in from all over the place, all the way in from Louisiana even. So it's great to see that we got people in here from the UK, people in here from Turkey. Turkey, another place I haven't been to yet, but I will make it to Turkey. And let's see, we got Sydney. Sydney's here. Awesome. All right, and then we got some people tuning in here from Hawaii. Wow, Hawaii via Twitter. Very cool. And Hong Kong. Look at that. Awesome. Welcome from Hong Kong. So it is awesome. Lots of great things. Let's dig into this. We can go through that all day. As I mentioned to Chip, we're almost 10 minutes in, and I haven't even talked about anything digital asset related yet. So I see we have South Africa as well. So check this out. This is really great, because as we're starting to see some movement, with Ripple, XRP, or Ripple, and this SEC lawsuit. So what kind of movement have we had? Really none, because we're still waiting on the response from Ripple to really defend against the complaint that was launched by Jay Clayton, who decided to leave his post the day after he filed the complaint by the SEC against Ripple. I guess he couldn't stand the heat, so he decided to leave. at that moment. But as this is all transpiring, as you guys know, we've had John Deaton that has been a big fighter in the space, and things that he's been doing as he's filing suit against the SEC. And so let's see here. Let's pull this guy up here. So let's see if, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. All right. So as this is going on, it's interesting because one of the things that we talk about on a regular basis is that it makes no sense what the SEC is doing. Why? Because Japan, amongst other countries, has already made the statement that XRP is not a security. So that makes things very confusing. But Japan is doubling down on that fact that XRP is not a security. And in fact, Japan is getting behind and rallying behind XRP because they see what's going on. The writing is on the wall. Oh, welcome, Wilson from Kenya. Awesome to have you here. We're getting a growing listening base over in Nigeria. And I would love to see more and more, involvement and participation, coming out of Africa. I think that would be, that'd be awesome to see the development that we're seeing over in Africa in the digital asset space, and blockchain. It's phenomenal. So Japan, rallying behind XRP. Why are they rallying behind XRP? And we're not seeing any type of feedback yet from the U.S. based on that. But here, this article I think is just spot on CoinDesk. And I was looking, I said, we got to find something that really gets into the detail of what's going on over in Japan. And look at right in their title here. Unlike the U.S., Japan considers XRP to be a cryptocurrency, not a security. And they went out and they interviewed some key business people and investors in Japan. And right here you have this individual, Makoto, said, "I'm not selling." So Makoto said first bought the XRP back in 2017, a year after its issuer Ripple launched a joint venture with one of Japan's most respected financial services institutions, SBI. And we've talked about SBI a lot in terms of what they're doing now and what their involvement is in expanding the RippleNet solution and utilizing ODL. So do we really care so much, here from our perspective, investing in digital assets? Do we really care so much about the success of a company if they're not utilizing a digital asset? But if their solution like RippleNet has actually, the game-changing component of RippleNet, and the reason why we talk about it is because of the ODL, the on-demand liquidity component. If ODL went away and XRP, went away from their solution, they wouldn't be so interesting to talk about any longer. And that's fine because the XRP ledger will continue to exist and other companies will build on that platform just like they're building on any other platform in the space right now. And we're seeing a lot of changes, a lot of development. Hence, we saw Flare. And with the Flare development and their Spark token, that is interesting. Why? Because it shows that there is a use case for the XRP ledger and what they were doing, what their outreach is, for those that are holding XRP to do an airdrop for those that hold XRP is a big statement. And so do you get that, type of statement with Ripple, as a company and RippleNet as a solution? Is there a separation now between what Flare is doing and Ripple, what Ripple is doing? Or there are other providers out there that are going to be and are pursuing development on the XRP ledger. Coil is one of them that is building solutions. And yes, maybe it's still in kind of like a beta test mode. Although you have the Coil blog, they're still testing out the streaming payment solutions utilizing, and now, obviously they utilize XRP. So my point there is, what's interesting about Ripple is that the game changer of all of this that we talk about is ODL, the on-demand liquidity that utilizes XRP as a settlement vehicle. To me, that is the most critical, most important. And this is what's reflected on over in Japan. Because look at in this article, you have XRP was probably the single most popular token or cryptocurrency in Japan. It was also backed by SBI. It invested in Ripple, right? So this is the founder and chief executive officer of crypto trading, of the crypto trading platform, Liquid Global. Now, what he's saying in this scenario, again, is that Japan saw what was happening. Japan saw one of their biggest financial institutions also embracing XRP and Ripple, because their bank or SBI, this financial institution, saw the benefit of the ODL, saw the benefit of remittance payments, cross-border payments. And this is exactly why SBI is rolling out solutions today with Malaysia and others utilizing components of this solution. It's amazing. So here, now Japan's love for XRP is being tested after the SEC filed suit. The complaint accused the firm of violating U.S. securities law, arguing Ripple failed to register as a security and seek exemption before selling 7 years ago. It's amazing. Obviously, in the article, they're trying to show people that never heard of it. And there's a lot of people out there that have invested in XRP that don't know the connection back to Ripple or what the Ripple solution is. They have no idea what the Ripple solution is. They don't understand the ODL. They don't understand the remittance payments and the cross-border payment. All they know is that XRP is one of the top 5 digital assets in the world, and it was sitting at in the top 3, top 4, whatever. You have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, Tether. That's a stable coin pegged. Can we even consider that in the top grouping if you're investing, if you're using a digital asset? And just moving from whatever, the idea is that from an investable, if someone's buying a Bitcoin, you're not buying Bitcoin just for the heck of it to have it sit there. You're buying Bitcoin because you want to see it increase in value. Same with Ethereum, same with XRP. And so many buy into the XRP digital asset, again, not because of its relationship to what Ripple is doing, but because it's in the top grouping of assets. It's natural. You see a lot of people now talking about, even one of the YouTubers that I do listen to and follow is Ivan on Tech. I don't listen to it religiously, but I enjoy hearing some of his perspectives. He's mostly focused on Bitcoin, but he also brings up some of those interesting statements that we've talked about, and it just kind of refreshed my thought on that when people come into the space, there's a typical, hierarchy of buy-in. And I think he was talking about Raoul Pal coming into the space about a year ago and buying Bitcoin. And the natural progression for many people that come into the digital asset space, they buy Bitcoin first because that's number one. That's what they've heard of. That's what everybody talks about. Then they say, okay, well, I'm buying, if you're a big player like a Raoul Pal, maybe you're buying, hundreds of Bitcoin. Or if you're like a MicroStrategy, you're buying, thousands, you're buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. But for all, they look and say, okay, Bitcoin's first, then Ethereum, then they start looking at altcoins. Now, the altcoin space can get very confusing. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing projects. Polkadot seems to be making some massive advancements in this space. But in this natural progression, if you're looking at top cryptocurrencies as far as registered on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, a natural progression and tendency again is Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin. XRP is in that grouping. So why wouldn't they, buy into what's in that top space? Why are people buying into Ethereum? Do they understand the smart contracts and the exchange and the burn off of the ETH and all of the different variables that go into Ethereum? No, they're buying Ethereum because it's number 2 in the space and they see it increasing in value. They don't understand, Vitalik, or they're not doing any historical search. People are buying Bitcoin not because they're like, oh my God, that Satoshi guy, that guy was awesome. I love what Satoshi, was thinking. The guy was spot on. No, they're buying Bitcoin, because of Bitcoin, because nobody knows who Satoshi is. So it becomes irrelevant. Same thing with XRP. And this is where we're getting, in Japan, they're looking at a bigger picture. But my point is, many even there, they're buying into it because it was in the top grouping, of digital assets, similar to everywhere else in the world. But here, look, Japan considers XRP to be a cryptocurrency. But this has no bearing on the SEC's allegation that Ripple sold XRP as an unregistered security transaction. So, here it says the U.S. classification of the cryptocurrency isn't likely to impact how Japan treats XRP. So if it's not likely, and it would be interesting, we get somebody on, a legal scholar mind, and maybe Crypto Eddie can help us dig into this and find the right person over in Japan to give us some legal feedback from Japan on what potentially could happen. Because really, if whatever the SEC does, the SEC does. At this point, I would be more concerned, or I would be more interested in seeing what the Japanese response will be to an SEC classifying a digital asset as a security when it's already been said in Japan that it isn't. So what does Japan do in that case? Here, based on this article and the person they're interviewing, but it's not going to impact how Japan treats XRP. Therefore, Japan is still going to see it as a cryptocurrency, not a security. What does that say? That means the rest of the world is still going to be trading in XRP. However, the US isn't. That makes no sense. It's so nonsensical that for the SEC to even drive down that path makes no sense. What is the SEC trying to accomplish? Are they trying to destabilize those in the US that are holding it? Are they trying to shake out, weak hands and get people to stop holding it? Do they want, what is their thought process after 7 years of silence? Now all of a sudden, oh, by the way, back in 2013, this was, in our opinion, this was a security. Who cares? For 7 years, you say nothing. Now, all of a sudden, 7 years later, oh, we think it's an unregistered security. All right, well, maybe it's a little bit too late because you've seen thousands of people, billions of dollars being invested in a digital asset. And what is the, potential impact of what this is going to mean? So, that's just crazy. Here, let's see, XRP has a strong global fan base, and a lot of people see this lawsuit as an attack on virtual currencies in general. This is coming out of Japan, and this is exactly true, exactly the case, because we've referenced this, we've talked about this, that in fact, this isn't just an attack on XRP or Ripple, I should say. It's not just an attack on Ripple because they're not really singling in the SEC complaint isn't going after XRP on its own. It's going after a fixed entity corporation, which is Ripple. And they're stating that Ripple sold an unregistered security. And so they're trying to make that argument that it was Ripple, not XRP. So there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, inaccuracies, misunderstandings that need to be settled. So I think that's interesting. I just saw this pop up here as I've been watching things flow through. I'm talking, but someone got caught out double spending. So that's interesting. I saw a write-up and I did pull it up, and I think it would be interesting to talk about that write-up on the double spending of Bitcoin, right? But that, from what they're looking at, it says that it didn't happen, but we'll get into it. Let's see here. You can no. Okay, let's not get into that. Okay. So, all right. Well, if there's anything, we'll get to it after. I'll see you guys post something here. So, all right. So so Japan. It's amazing. So the thought process of what's going on in the U.S. versus how people are reflecting and reacting over in Japan, because Japan is a major, holder as a whole. The individuals invest in XRP. There's a lot of investment coming in, from Japan and South Korea. Here it says, although XRP is still widely available in Japan, some local XRP users appear somewhat shaken by the lawsuit. Yes, users, because they see what's happening in Japan, but they're wondering, what is going to happen if the SEC files this. Will it have an impact on the price? Will it have an impact on the development? So SBI's influence, Ripple's marketing relatively clear regulation that classified XRP as a crypto is driving XRP's popularity. SBI is a major influence there. Here it says, for instance, it said XRP will be soaring once again despite the lawsuit. We saw that XRP's price did rally a little bit in early January, but what we're also seeing is that the price point of XRP did not tank. It was down at one point around 17 cents, but it didn't continue its free fall on the announcement of this SEC lawsuit. What happened is that it went the other way. It went up to 29 cents. I think right now it might be 24 or 25 cents. I didn't look this morning. So this is all very, very relevant in what's going on, because you're also seeing a separation, and we've seen a clear separation of the price point of this digital asset and the news that comes out, regarding Ripple or regarding crypto, whatever. It's very much impacted by the ebb and flow of the crypto market. So just very interesting. SBI Holdings is and will continue to be a strong partner of Ripple. Representatives for SBI later told CoinDesk. So that's key. That's really, really important. SBI sees the vision. SBI understands it. And here it says, following the filing, Yoshikata Kitao, SBI Chief Executive Officer and board member of Ripple, tweeted that Japan's financial authority, the FSA, had already made it clear that XRP was not a security. That's key. I'm optimistic that Ripple will prevail in the final ruling in the U.S., Kitao said. So this is, I bring this up because Japan is an epicenter, of the digital asset space, an epicenter of what's happening, regarding XRP investment. And they've made their statement and they're sticking to that statement. That is, to me, is very, very telling. So let's see here. All right. Paolo, if XRP is deemed a security in the US, then would we own Ripple shares? I believe the easy answer to that would be no. Ripple shares selling at $40 per share. How would other countries who classified it as an asset treat it? And that's a great question. But I think the short answer to, would the Ripple, would XRP translate into Ripple shares, which are privately sold, because Ripple isn't isn't a publicly traded company, although they do have investors that have bought stock in the company. So if you're holding stock in the company, that's different, because you're holding stock in Ripple has nothing to do with XRP. Now, in a settlement, if there was a settlement, I'm not saying that this would happen, just speculating, and I don't even know if this would be a possibility, but if you have Ripple shares that are sold at 40, if that's what it's at, I haven't checked, I'm not sure. If that's the case, maybe Ripple as a solution, if the SEC declares XRP as a security, maybe one of the options is a buyback. So Ripple, by the SEC, or the lawsuit outcome, would have to buy back these open XRP that are held by investors, and you say, okay, that you have a certain term to buy back, or Ripple might come out. I don't know if they would, probably not, but they could say, okay, value to value, you can exchange or use whatever the value of that XRP is in their buyback in exchange for cash or potential shares. So, I don't know if that's feasible, viable. It seems like an amicable arrangement if that was the case. So then individual holders would have to make a determination and say, hey, I get it. This is the outcome. Is it a full buyback? Can you utilize it for, investing actually in Ripple? I don't know. I mean, that's super speculative to say they would do something like that. Or does somebody say, well, in the rest of the world, they don't deem this as a security, so I'm not doing anything. I'm going to continue to hold for the next 5 to 10 years and see what happens. Because this whole space is so new, maybe, who knows what the outcome is going to be. And now the supposition here would also then be that the SEC case is going to come out in favor of the SEC, and there's not going to be a settlement or a counter argument that will put the case null and void at the end. So I guess there's a lot going into that. Now these other countries like a Japan that classifies it already as a non-security is looking as a cryptocurrency. So I think that's really key. Now to this point, let's see here. We have, what are your thoughts on Ethereum killer Flare Spark? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an Ethereum killer. I believe that it is, a competitor with. I know, we have the instinct of jumping to and saying, hey, this is going to be a Bitcoin killer. This is going to be an Ethereum killer. This is going to change the space. I look at it almost like in this scenario, what they're developing. It's just more competition and more proof that the space is in need of smart contracts and is in need of a smart contract solution that is better than Ethereum or different than Ethereum. So what is one of the key points of the Flare ecosystem is interoperability, as they include ERC20 tokens, as they include, XRP, as they include Litecoin. They expand out in their use case of the smart contract platform as a true business solution. So I think that is very, very important. So yes, they have the speed of XRP, they have the smart contracts of the Ethereum, but again, that means that if they have the smart contract features of Ethereum and interoperable with the Ethereum solutions, Ethereum isn't going anywhere, and people will build on what they're comfortable building on. It's almost like, why would somebody build exclusively on an Apple product? Or why would they build exclusively on Android or Microsoft? It seems like that's a tendency, but then they want to be cross-platform, so they end up setting up a cross-platform, but maybe a product works better on one of the platforms than it does the other because that's their preferred platform. So I think in this scenario, people are going to build and utilize the Ethereum because that's what they're comfortable with, or that's what they prefer. Even if, Flare might be better or it's different, it has different solution. From a technical engineering perspective, I'm a little bit out of that element, to understand the distinction of the coding, what it would mean to actually build in either space, from a coding perspective. But I think we have to approach it, from a business perspective, that competition is healthy. We want to see that competitive edge, and see the space grow together. The more building in the space along those lines is great. That's very, very positive overall. So let's see. I think Lewis, I don't know if you asked this. Let me see. What is this? Doge. I think if you're going to invest in anything, Lewis, you got to do your own research. You have to look, follow the space, look at the chat groups, and make a decision based off of that. It's really hard. You look at Doge, the Doge coin has a following. I've been, it's interesting because I have bought Doge and I've sold Doge. I happen to hold it right now because I bought it low. It's sitting at about a penny right now. I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I just bought it, mainly because it was there, and made some money on it along the way, buying and selling it. But I'm not saying that's good or bad. I have no idea. But the initial concept of Dogecoin was, the inventor of it supposedly put it out there kind of as a joke, and not meant, and the following that it got is unreal. I don't know. I mean, why would it be any different than investing in a solid project? I mean, I think that it's one of those. It's very, very volatile, and I believe that if you look at some of the chat groups, I think there's a lot of pump and dump that go on with it. Right now, the whole market is trending up. So Doge is getting pulled in that uptrend, with the entire crypto market. That's how I look at it. But when the market is down, it still could go up and down, even those minute moves. But I do believe that there's too much pump and dump behind it. And there's individuals in chat groups that get people fired up on it. And since it's like a penny stock, it's very, very easily manipulated, due to the lower volume as well. So I don't know. I mean, that's where that's a tough one. But anyhow, it's fun, nonetheless. So, Jay Clayton, if Jay Clayton puts cinnamon in his coffee, I'll never put cinnamon in my coffee. How about that? James Rule XRP, what is up? You guys have got to go check out James Rule XRP's YouTube channel. The guy's killing it, does an amazing job. Guy is awesome. So go check him out, if you haven't yet. All right, where was I? I kind of go. We're talking about Japan for like 30 minutes. Now, my point of all of this. So another one of them. We'll get into this other op-ed, but one of the things that we had brought up, Chip and I had talked about, hey, this new Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, she's going to kill the crypto space. Why is she going to kill the crypto space? Because she didn't understand the crypto space. She came out against the digital asset space. She came out with the typical, oh, well, cryptocurrency, yes, it's used for nefarious purpose as usual. And, it only serves the purpose of criminal entities and blah, 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 blah. A lot of noise coming out of her mouth because she didn't really understand. And so we were talking about, why even open your mouth on something if you don't truly understand it? But what's interesting is that she's done a complete flip, 180 degrees. And that is interesting. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. What is up, Michael Otto, all the way in from the UK? Good to see you on. And also 179, Kevin, good to have you here. So I want to get into that double spend on Bitcoin. I think I have the article queued up. If not, then I don't know if we're going to talk about it. Let's see here. The SEC rule of disgorgement against Ripple. We will get the money back, or will the SEC? That's a great question. That's one we need to talk to John Deaton about, but that's a great one. Who gets penalized in the end? Who benefits in the end from any of these court cases? Look at all the banks: JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Wells Fargo. I mean, you can go down the list. Pretty much every single bank has been caught up in doing things that they get fined by huge amounts of money. Billions of dollars in fines have been paid out by banks because of fraud, because of misrepresentation, because of leaving things out, whatever. Deutsche Bank got caught up in funneling funds for terrorists, for terrorist nations. And they got caught up in a whole sting operation a couple years ago. And, certain individuals went to jail, but Deutsche Bank was caught up in and paid huge amounts of fines as a direct result for infringing on AML and KYC obligation. The list goes on and on and on and on. But where do all those fines go? that's an amazing point. Does it go to the shareholders? No. Does it go back to holders? Do we get does the government say, hey, you know, maybe we should give this to the people? No. The government takes the fine. You know, the bank pays it, but who pays for those fines in the end from the banks? Obviously, they pay you nothing when they hold your money, and they jack up the interest rates when you borrow their money. So they're making a ton of money on that trade-off. Hey, go ahead, put $100,000 in my bank. I'm going to give you about 0.5% interest. Oh, you want to borrow $100,000 now? Okay, well, to borrow 100,000, that's going to be anywhere from 3 to about 10%, depending on what you're going to be using it for. How about that? Okay, so you're going to give me 0.5%, but you're going to make 2.5 to 9.5, maybe more percent on my money that I'm putting in your bank. That makes a lot of sense, But the point is that's who pays the bill, is all that interest that they're getting, any fees that you have to pay to the bank. That all ends up being transferred over to the government entities in the form of fines. And that is really difficult to to absorb. So, all right, let's see. Yellen won't be in very long. 1 month. All right, well, let's talk about what she's going to be doing in the 1 month that she is in. Let's talk about that. How about that? How about that? So this is important though, because this is who's in right now. This is who we're going to be referencing. This is who is going to impact the digital asset space as it stands right now. So let's see. Hang on 1 second. Okay. All right. Janet Yellen. Let's see here. Where's my tab? Here we go. So she changes tone on cryptocurrency assets. I think this was really important. Like I said before, comes in, no, it's used for nefarious purposes. It's no good. We can't do anything with it. It's bad. It's going to impact the economy. We're talking about the legacy economy. You can't track it, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, a couple days in, she's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Okay, so actually, she comes up with a statement here. This is an article. I don't know if this is an exact quote. I have to pull up. Here's the. Oh yeah, I had the actual report to the finance committee. Let me see here. Oh, this is too long. I forgot where I marked this off, so we can go back on that later. But here it says here. No, I just lost my spot in this. Oh, she changed her stance on cryptocurrency and mentioned that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency assets have the potential to improve global transactions. I thought this was interesting because, this, and we're going to go and review the central banks of what's going on, globally when it comes to CBDCs, stable coins, and other digital assets, what they're trying to accomplish in the streamlining of moving money cross borders. So what is she talking about here? What is she referencing is the potential to improve global transactions. What's also interesting, think about who might be taking over the OCC. So that was what's his last name? Was that Michael Barr? And he was a board member of Ripple, involved in creating a solution that helps with global transactions, cross-border payments. I don't know, things are kind of stacking up. It was interesting because, Chip and I were analyzing this and we saw Janet Yellen and said, well, she's like this counterbalance to what's going on with this possibility of the positive direction of the OCC, but also the individual taking over the SEC is also, positive on blockchain development and cryptocurrency. Not saying, one cryptocurrency over the other, but, it's interesting, because now you're seeing this balance come back in, because before she was like this counterweight, boom, Treasury Secretary, anti-cryptocurrency. Now it's coming back into line. the Treasury Secretary, the SEC, and the OCC all coming in line with an understanding, potentially, not saying they will, but potentially understanding, the direction of the digital asset space. Sorry. So here, obviously, she had recent comments before, as we had said, and it says here, it's interesting how the article, the writer writes this, but the recent comments from the former chair of the Federal Reserve came as a surprise. I don't know how it was a surprise. Honestly, I don't know why people are surprised as she criticized Bitcoin and digital currencies. It makes no sense. I mean, I wasn't surprised when she came out against Bitcoin and other digital currencies for potential involvement in money laundering and terror financing in the past. So, and then it says earlier this month, Yellen mentioned that cryptocurrencies are being used for illegal activities. Yeah, there was no surprise when she came out against it. Why was there no surprise? Well, many that are in government have failed to take a moment to truly, educate themselves in the digital asset space. So if you're not going to educate yourself on the digital asset space, then why would anybody be surprised when they're anti digital asset, or why they hold opinion that digital assets, cryptocurrency is used for nefarious purpose, that it doesn't meet KYC and AML criteria? So there's no shock, no surprise when you have someone like Maxine Waters, who is a critical element within the Financial Services Committee, that references Bitcoin as Bitcom. And the majority of these people that sit in these committees, we saw the embarrassing trials, or not trials, but when the hearings with Facebook and Twitter, and at that time, now it's Diem. It was at that time was Libra, but they had no understanding of what they were talking about. Very, very embarrassing for us, because they're trying to make comment on something they have little to no understanding of. So that's very, very difficult to absorb. Yo, David, what is up, man? Hey, killing it on your videos, but appreciate that. Appreciate that that support there. I think it might be a different David though. Not sure. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oops. Just skipped all the way to the bottom in this. There was a comment. Here we go. Here we are. Okay, that I can't read that whole comment. All right. So anyhow, so the movement now, the flip flop, which is a positive flip flop, because this was like, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, Yellen's coming out against, oh, it doesn't meet AML, KYC, and terrorists, and blah, 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 all that stuff. And now positive, it's amazing. So, but she still says that there's risk associated with crypto transactions. Yes, it's still speculative, but from a governmental perspective, is the direction where fiat is going, the direction the whole world's going, the direction that China is trying to push in with their digital yuan and their digital currency. Russia getting ready to roll out a stable coin. The Marshall Islands have already been using a digital asset. Bermuda is using the sand dollar. Country by country, Sweden has been crypto friendly. Switzerland, their main exchange has been crypto friendly. There's positive feedback out of the UK with blockchain and digital asset, although some of the banks are trying to, HSBC, one of them, which incidentally HSBC apparently is being, is getting ready to close a whole bunch of their branches because they can't compete brick and mortar. Big surprise. And a lot of these banks like HSBC, I remember working with HSBC a number of years ago, super, super difficult. Oh my God. It was like the worst experience I've ever had, having money in a bank and working with an entity was that bank, not to disparage them in any way, shape, or form, but oh my God, it's almost like, Bank of America, we have clients that have Bank of America accounts and they try to do a bank wire to our bank, and multiple accounts, and it never comes through easily. Always, like every single time with a bank wire with Bank of America, always a problem. I would say not always, 7 times out of 10 problem. 3 times out of 10, no problem. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. So now these are the legacy platforms. Imagine now you're using like a RippleNet, or you're using some other seamless solution that is going through blockchain, whatever, and it's working quickly, transparently, and efficiently. This is what these people at now, Yellen is in charge of she's the Treasury Secretary. She better have an understanding of this new technology. What does this new technology represent? Cost savings, transparency of processing the movement of money, speed of settlement, cost. I mean, all of these things, you wrap all of this together. Give me transparency. That just give me one component of that. You want to still charge me what you're charging me. You want to take 3 to 5 days for processing. Just give me transparency of movement of my money or receipt of somebody else's money. That's all I want. There's zero transparency right now. If you've ever had to utilize a bank wire and have done business internationally, when they send the money, all you might get a notification that there's a transaction pending. That's it. That's it. Nothing. 3 to 5 days you sit and you wait because there's zero transparency, because the bank utilizing Swift doesn't provide that kind of transparency. Okay, pending. Now I'm waiting 3 to 5 days. In the meantime, they made an error in their processing. On their side, it says pending. Hey, where's my money? I don't know. My bank says it's pending. Then all of a sudden, oh, sorry, my bank said there was an error. Okay, we just waited 5 days for this transaction to occur. Why did it take so long for them to identify that there was an error to kick the money back? Sometimes it happens in shorter time. I had someone, 3 days later, sorry, there was, where's my money? Well, there was a glitch. They kicked it back. Well, can you resend it? All right, I'm going to resend it. But by the way, they tied up my money, the sender, they tied up my money, and I don't have access to that money until they finalize this issue. What kind of insanity goes on with the legacy system? And for the Treasury Secretary to not understand that, I'm sure they do. They have to understand that, but then they have to understand that fintech, that crypto, that blockchain, that all of this new solution is actually providing some efficiency to the old ways of doing things, that governments can continue doing what governments do. It's going to impact us, the businesses, the individual citizen of a country, the individual investor, etc., whatever, however they want to look at it. We're the ones that get impacted. You think a government cares about efficiency? Do they care about cost of movement of money? They don't care about that stuff. Why? Because it's not their money to begin with. They don't care if it costs them, $1,000 for a hammer that they buy for the Pentagon, because it's a special hammer that costs $1,000 to nail in those special nails, because it's not their money. That's why they're willing to spend ridiculous amounts of money on things, because there's also pay to play. And there's all these things that go on behind the scenes. How about a little bit of transparency about that process? So now the Treasury Secretary, maybe not. I don't know where the pressure is coming from a lobbying perspective. Somebody's putting some pressure on, that allowed her to open up her eyes, to the benefit of the digital asset space. No clue, why somebody would come out adamantly against, and within a week come out in favor of, yet still stating and pointing out that there's certain risk associated with these crypto transactions. Hey, you can beat up on, on any administration in the US and say, that they were crypto friendly, not crypto friendly, whatever. It comes down to the functionality of government as a whole that could be against the transition over to newer technology. The lobbying group of the bank conglomerate Swift is massive. Those banks pour, millions of dollars into the coffers of politicians, as do all of these big businesses. All these big corporate entities play all sides of the game to push and move and do whatever, to get the politicians on their side. Therefore, the politician that gets elected by the individuals, by the time they get to their government seat, is now swayed by lobbyists and not so much by the people that put them there. But this is interesting. Obviously, Janet Yellen is appointed, but now she has a very, very critical role to play in facilitating the movement of our economy in the U.S. to a crypto-friendly economy, as we see in Japan, as we see in other countries. And if the U.S. becomes crypto-friendly, so too do many other nations, because it streamlines and makes it seamless for us to transact together. So anyhow, that was awesome. Let's see. Luis, I took an econ class and I was surprised how no one knew about digital assets. Wrote an essay on how XRP would help our economy and got an A+. Dude, freaking awesome. That's awesome. So here's the most amazing thing, YouTube. Right here we are sitting here conversing, educating. I should say, really, digital asset in general is amazing. But think about, from an investment perspective, you're investing in a digital asset space, the first new asset class in how many hundreds of years, putting on par, with what goes on with fiat and everything else, from a pure, not just an investable, speculative investable, product, but something that is revolutionizing and changing the way everybody is going to be transacting. It's amazing. And the fact that you took an econ class and nobody knew about it is staggering. However, what's most amazing is that here you are, in this space, investing and learning and educating yourself through that investment, on on what will be and is becoming, the modern economy. I mean, it's unreal. So phenomenal. Congratulations on that A+, and keep at it. Keep, pushing the limit with with writing and doing research in the digital asset space as it comes to, economics. So I'm not sure if you wrote this, if you're in college or graduate program, but my recommendation, keep pushing it, because again, you're going to be very unique in this space, like you're saying. So that's awesome. That's phenomenal. Let's see. It's Death Wish, James. It is Death Wish. Death Wish coffee. Only the best. We go from Death Wish to Segafredo. Segafredo coffee, awesome too. I'm getting ready to order. I had it before, but Death Wish has something called Valhalla, which is also phenomenal. What a great coffee. There's some good ones out there. If you guys have like a really great quality espresso that you like, let me know. I'll check it out. There's so many of them, but some of the the smaller brands, some of them could be really, really good, but sometimes the way they roast the beans, just not good enough. So, all right, we talked about Janet Yellen. Net positive. I mean, just overall, again, net positive that she's moving in the right direction. So we don't have to get into that right up. Now, here's something else I thought was really amazing. Man, let me see. What is going to be the best one? Forget about what the SEC calling out suspicious companies. The global arms race in digital finance is heating up. Let's go over this one. I think this is like really amazing. Here, where is it? Here, this is an op-ed. Let's see here. Boom. Nope. Boom. Wait. Yellen is a puppet. Very well likely. It's possible. Okay. Raul. Hi, Jeff. Even after 3 years invested, I feel I'm so early to the space because I know nobody in real life who holds crypto. Exactly. Just like Lewis in his econ class, nobody knows about. How could you not know? I mean, even from a professor's perspective, this is where I found it really troubling. I have a master's degree in international economics, and there's very, when I was in college years and years ago, I had very little respect for my professors, mainly because none of them had real world experience, and very few of them continued to do research on anything relevant. Let's call it. They would regurgitate information that they read out of books, other people's information. Now, part of being a professor is that they're required to write every so often and publish. But I found that from a real world perspective, I had a couple professors that had real world experience. One, when I was an undergrad, I had an econ professor. That guy was outstanding. He was in business. He was a CEO of a company, left being a CEO, became a professor. The guy was amazing, just outstanding. The guy was just brilliant. And you got to have respect for someone like that. He took that path of actually working in the real world and not just regurgitating theory. And then you have certain professors that, again, that's all they've done. I also studied international politics and just a lot of things. But as you analyze the different countries around the world, as I spend a lot of my time analyzing from a political and economic perspective. But it's interesting that I remember another professor I had. He was actually from China, and this guy was also amazing. And very few professors. This guy, he said, I have to leave for a week. Well, where are you going? I was brought in to help with negotiations over whatever it was at the time. Something, I think it had something to do with China, but I'm talking about like, late 90s. So something was going on, and he was brought in as a consultant and that was really, really impressive. So now, I think it's really key, that, as we look at this digital asset space, that the professors that are in school, that are teaching economics need to do their due diligence to understand this asset class. And if they don't understand it, students like Lewis need to bring it to the forefront. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a net positive that if you're a student, and we have people, it was amazing looking at, the age groups of people that are tuning into On the Chain right now, from like 18 to over 65. We have every single age group covered. We have a lot more women that are listening to On the Chain now, which is great. I think it was like 7 or 8% based on how YouTube understands their analytics. But it's amazing, what people can do. So, talking about that, what you can bring to everybody else. And yes, we're very, very early in the development of this space. This space is just getting going. And it's unreal to be here, on YouTube and see people from all over the world that are engaged, in the conversations and seeing people's feedback. I mean, it's phenomenal. So I've spent years, dealing with people in different parts of the world, and that engagement one-on-one, you pick up the phone, I'm having a conversation with somebody, in Dubai, with somebody over in Saudi, and somebody over in Japan, talking to people over in China, in the US, Mexico, wherever, Venezuela. I mean, over the years, I've dealt with people all over the place. And it was always amazing getting people's perspective on things, right? And now this platform, through digital assets, has brought all of us together, everybody. All we're doing with On the Chain is facilitating the conversation and bringing everybody together. That's why we put together our first virtual meetup, which we're super excited about. If there's not a link below in the description, shoot, now I don't even know if the link is there. Let me look. Oh, that's not even here. Hang on. Let me grab the link while we're talking. I got to grab the link. I didn't put it in the description for some reason. Here it is. Register for the meetup. I'm going to put this in the chat right now. I want you guys to go check this out. We're going to be limiting the number of people that are going to be registered on here. We opened it up. This is our first one. So we hope it comes across the right way. What just happened here? Periscope didn't get your comment. It was probably filtered. Why would my comment be filtered on Periscope when I'm the one posting it? That makes no sense. All right, whatever. All right, so you guys got it, though. It's right there in the chat. Register for this. It's all about us on the chain, the very first virtual meetup that we're sponsoring. We're going to bring all of us together. So again, check it out. It's in there right now. Let me take this same thing. I'm going to put it into the description over here. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to be in there now in the description below or if it's going to be in there afterwards. But I'm putting it into, let me save that. Boom, on the fly. But check it out. So next Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing the very first virtual meetup. And this is going to, again, it's going to be awesome. Crypto Eddie is going to be there with us. So we're super excited about that. But it's going to be great. So again, on the chain, facilitating, bringing all of us together so we can have discourse on digital asset. Yeah, I mean, you guys are outstanding, amazing feedback, amazing comments, and we're touching every part of the world. And as I started talking about global finance, economics, etc., DNI stepped in. I saw DNI step in here before. I can't find his comment. There he is. Boom. There he is. DNI. So check DNI out. He does some great streams as well if you haven't tuned in. And I also believe we've got Uphold going on here. There we are. There's your very first comment. So there you are. Here we are. We're here. We're live. So let's see. Yeah, Uphold has been great. We're looking for IMF. So, whoops, hang on. There he is. So this is, how they in Batman, they had the bat signal and they put up the bat signal up into the sky. And that's how Batman knew, because somehow he could see the bat signal no matter where he was. So what our signal for DNI is to say IMF. So if you're ever in the live stream and DNI's not in here and you want DNI to come in to provide some of his geopolitical feedback, all you have to do is just type in IMF, and IMF is like the bat signal that brings in DNI to provide his perspective on geopolitics. See, there you go. Boom. See, IMF. Did I hear IMF? And that's it. That's how it's done. So if you type it in and then I can say it goes out into the sphere of, I don't know where it goes, but somehow DNI gets the notification. I'm not sure how it works, but I think it's like XRP, not 100% sure, but I think it's magic, so that IMF also magic. And that's how we bring DNI in. So, awesome. So anyhow, so that's great. Let me see. What is this? Level up. Oh my God, it's at hour 7. What are we doing in hour 7? You guys are hanging out here for an hour 7? What's going on? Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and we're all still hanging out together. Let's go over just a little bit. I went past, Chip and I said, you know what, that's it, an hour. We keep in the hour. The hour is great. It keeps everybody, kind of contained and motivated here. But let's see, what does this say here? Have you talked about or thought what type of entity or business you may have to form to continue holding XRP or realize its full value? We may have to become a bank. Man, I don't know about that. I don't know as an individual that you have to be a bank. But yeah, so I think, that's a good question. I mean, if it's registered as a security in the US, it's like an unknown, question here, is that if it is a security, are you still able to hold something that is deemed an unregistered security? And what happens now if it's unregistered everywhere? But no, it's unregistered in the US, but nowhere else. Can I still hold it on my, I can cold storage it on my own hardware wallet? and then I can go anywhere in the world. I can go to Japan, and I'm going to go live in Japan now, and that's where I'm going to go spend it. I don't know. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So check it out. So we got the auto review, Army boots on the ground. That's right. That's right. We got the Army boots on the ground. So again, make sure you guys, we got the Philippines in the house. Jedrick from the Philippines. What part of the Philippines? My stepdad is from Manila. So let's see here. Anything, here we go. Anything that happens with the U.S. is only in the U.S. Exactly. Coming from someone that lives over in Thailand. Awesome. U.S. exchanges and storage outside the U.S. Easy. See, use exchanges. There you go. See, easy squeezy. So awesome. So check it out. All right. So anyhow, what do we have here? Oh, Jackie, you're going to go live with Crypto Eddie in Japan. There. So Crypto Eddie, if XRP is deemed a security in the U.S., all of us here are coming to live with you over in Japan. Just a heads up. All right. So again, let me throw this in here. Boom. Oh shoot. Hang on. Stand by. There we go. So go check this out. Make sure you guys register for the meetup. The meetup is going to be next week, next Sunday, January 31st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys check that out. Looking forward to seeing you guys on there. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow night, Sunday, we will have another roundtable event. So tune in for the roundtable. I believe since somehow the Buffalo Bills apparently are playing football tomorrow, that we are going to premiere for tomorrow night. But check it out. We'll be in the chat hanging out with you guys. And tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and back again live on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well, because we stream Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the meetup is free, 100% free. There it is again. Go check it out. 100% free. Check out the meetup. Come back. We'll see you guys live in person next Sunday. Until then, for everybody here, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I should have said this earlier on, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifier, get notified every single time we post new videos and we go live, because here on this channel, we only go live. On the other channel is where you see the short videos. So anyhow, it was a pleasure spending the morning with you guys, and I will check you out on the next one, only here on the chain. Let's get out of here. Where is it? Come on. Where is it? There it is. See ya. I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.